Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World Tanks. So as you can see, this is Archetype in the M3Lee, one of the most controversial and hated tanks of World Tanks. This of course is a tier 4 game on Lakeville. Let's pump up that map so that I can actually see it. And let's get this battle started. So, yeah. So if you don't know why, here we go, why the M3Lee is such a hated tank, is because of course this is the only part of the tank that really matters, and all of this is just here to get shot at. The fact that you can get shot very easily when you think you're hull down. Okay, when you think you're hidden, quite often this part of the tank will actually be up and over the rock or whatever you're hiding behind, and so you'll get shot and you have no idea how or why. And since the gun is on the weird side of the tank, that would be the right side, unless you're tucked around a corner, so only the right side of your tank is exposed. You have to expose so much of your tank to get a shot off, you might as well just run out and fire. And of course, because of the fact that the gun is mounted on the front and isn't on a turret of any kind, it's not a tank so much as a TD with crap's TD stats, if that makes any kind of sense. Now, Archetype is going to run up into the middle of this town. Team does want to secure this middle zone. Now, it is a tier 4 game, so the teams aren't exactly experienced enough to understand how to play their own tanks and stuff like that. So stuff like this tank, in a more experienced game, he wouldn't have let somebody just get behind him, or he would have started reacting sooner. Of course, lower tier games, this kind of thing happens all the time. So this was still a great kill though. Did take a lot of damage so far. And of course he lost his gunner, which presents a small problem. So apparently he doesn't actually have any, like a small repair kit or med pack or anything like that on his tank, so since you can't see him below, so he's not going to have a gunner for the rest of this game. He also lost more than half of his health, so this is going to kind of be a problem. But our team's losing right now, so we gotta start carrying. Oh look, a T40. T40 is actually in the correct position, but because the rest of his team was in the wrong position, yeah, that's not gonna work unless you're zoomed in, because of course you have a dead gunner. Ooh, there goes the AMX-40, who, if he was looking, could have definitely presented Archetype with some more problems, because he wasn't looking, wasn't paying attention. And this T40, same thing, not paying attention, is not going to present Archetype with any kind of real problem. He's just going to walk through here and decimate this guy. Now, as much as this is a controversial tank, it is actually getting it has so far been a fairly brilliant game, and that's an enemy M3Lee. Let's see. Oh, he's got the small gun. That poor guy. We should be able to reload faster than him. Yeah. Okay, well, unfortunately for that M3Lee, he managed to dish out almost enough damage, but not quite enough. So that's unfortunate for him. But there's nothing he can do about that, and it just, it came down to who had the better gun on. And in this our case, Archetype won. Now there's an M40, really? AMX-40 in the middle. Oh, no man, he's way over there. So we're not going to get to him. Looks like Archetype is he's just going to start capping. It's because he does not want to lose this game. He's got quite a few kills. 4 kills isn't bad considering the fact that he's driving Lee. Ooh, look at that. M8A1 firing on the move is not gonna hit him, and ooh, again, inexperienced, turning his turret the wrong way. Didn't realize how far he had to actually turn his turret, and so he overcompensated and lost the shot. Doesn't matter, we're about to kill the AMX-40 at our base, and this is going to be the end of the game. So as controversial as this tank is, it's still a powerhouse in its tier. As long as you don't run into anything particularly heavy, like a B1 would take this thing apart, as sad as that is to say. And you don't run into any higher tiers, and you catch people from behind. So pretty much, if you want to play this tank, treat it like a TD, use it like a TD. For the most part, you should be sniping with it and whatnot. But if you have to, run out and do some running and gunning, and then, win, right? Obviously. Just shy of 2,700 experience without premium, without a daily double. There's got to be some sort of experience action reward in that, because that didn't look like enough raw experience to get that much. So let's flip over to detail for a sec. Yeah, okay. So he got a whole whackload of experience for some sort of mission he completed. That explains a lot. Okay, so Mastery Badge, Ace Tanker, that was obvious and completely worth it. High Caliber, seeing that on anything tier 4 and lower is really shocking, unless of course you're Steel Clubbing, which this was a little bit of, but not a lot. Archetype is a friend of mine who recently, for reasons I won't go into, lost his World Tanks account with his tier 10s on it, and so he's starting from the bottom all over again. So, that I'm really sorry for him about all that, but this was a great game, and he definitely took advantage of the strengths of his tank to take people who weren't looking, weren't paying attention, and absolutely wreck them, dominate them. This is how you should be playing all your tanks. If an M3Lee can do this, guys, you guys can do this in any tank. It just involves paying attention to the map and getting in and surprising guys. That AMX-40 from the front would have been a pain when you can shoot him in the engine deck every time. A lot less of a pain. And the M3Lee actually makes pretty decent cash, though this may be a little bit of an action payout somewhere in here that is just not telling us. But still, I mean, that's almost his entire repair cost for the vehicle, and that's all the ammunition he made. So even if he made $5 off that game, this is a completely economical tank to use for those 10 days you grind through it, if that's how long it takes you. It took me a little bit longer because I just had to stop playing it for a month between sessions. Yeah, you understand. Actually, I had kind of a Stockholm syndrome with this tank. I loved it by the end, and then I gave it up, played a few other tanks, and realized, oh, it was crap. So thank you very much for sending this in, Archetype, and thank you all for watching. If you liked it, please leave a comment, hit that like button, and stuff like that. If you want to go ahead and support me, my Patreon link, it will be in the description below. Click on that and, do your thing. I am too tired to be doing this anymore. Have a great night, folks. ioEther out. ioEther.